Hello, Pumpen and everyone. Hello, Johannes. Yep. Johannes, yep. I'm trying to think if it's Black, Nordic, Scandinavian quote. I wonder what they taste like. Do you like 1444? Unfortunately, I have it on the 15th. Because otherwise it would be 04, 14, 14, 44. That would be amazing. Bonk. Do I have any quotes I have like at 11? Obviously not 11 because there are 22, 20. I do have 23, 22, two of them. So 1447 is, well, Tukibox, you're the one to actually point out the lack of panties, which did actually happen at 22. Unfortunately on the 20th, not on the 22nd. So close. And then there's like a question, is there like at, obviously it can't be at 12:12 because I have no quote studies as early as 12:12. I guess I just need a quote to happen at 12:12 on the 12th of December, so it can be 12:12 in 2012. I have to wait for 2112. Well, in that case, it has to be 21, but there isn't 21 months, so that doesn't work. Because then we came at 21. But then we can have to make up months. Funny girl Tiffany. But yes, it is correct. This is the game where I have a ball. You have 1,834 coupons. Spend them wisely. Only 3 has been claimed, but of course I start like an hour earlier than the normal time. So we can see on this view here that the ball is traveling very nicely and smoothly. And it moves kind of fast, but like it does transition over it. I did make a video of it, so I can show you the video where it moves very slowly. There we go. We can restart it. So let's move very slowly and then it transitions over it. So it's so nice, isn't it? I was going to say, like, I could have multiple linear points it goes through as it curves around, but no, I'm actually using a curve function. So here's like its normal speed it will roll at. And also you can reverse, which is pretty cool. But yeah, currently the camera is cut from one phase to the next. So I want the camera to like smoothly transition. That is the idea. And I do have a function. Now I have added a lot of comments here. It's moved towards by arc, which is my own version. It's very simple. There's actually not that many lines of code because there is apparently a slurp function. However, unfortunately it takes a percentage. You can slurp from one position to another as a nice curve. But because you have an angle that points to a point and another angle that points to another point, and those 2 points meet at a location, which is the center of this circle. So if you just have 2 random points in space and then you make their tips touch, that between those, the shorter distance, you have the shortest distance between them, and then it's simply, and then you then to move, you simply rotate one of those points so it reaches the other point in its shortest distance there, and this actually creates a curve, and that is the slurp function. Yes, I did say tips touching. But therefore I have a point, 2 points in 3D space as well as the center point, because so it needs to calculate what these two lengths will be and stuff. So yes, it's a mess to try to like it, and then it got like safety checks and bunch. I should really put like a try and like a what was the C# try catch function? It's pretty cool that it actually isn't working. Do you want to start again early? Usually, yeah. Yes, I did say tips touch. Think of adding it. So let's see now. No. Thank you for playing. Also, I did talk about this thing, but I forgot that every time I start this one I had to reselect it to make it show up. I don't know why, it has the exact same name. I must have put a setting. Maybe if it changes to this, maybe it works. We'll see, we'll see. Okay, so if I type try and I wrap everything here like this, and then I type catch, and then here I type return target. So this means that try to make double slashes. Try to run the code, and this means if the code fails to run for any reason, return the final destination or return the target, as I've typed in the other places. Yeah, so that's how it works. Which is good because, well, at some point during the game, it just might fail this code. I don't see why it would, but it might. And this is a safety catch, so that it always will be able to find a location, and like, yeah, if it can't smoothly transition, it will just put it at the final point, which is better than the game crashing, you know. No surprise there, I guess. Quote, oh no, not a straight jacket, not for Jaded. Jaded prefers a gay jacket. Yes, Jaded agrees. 71 Jaded quotes. Well, that's many Jaded quotes. So, when you start the go over the edge function, it has 3 phases. We can bring up the video again, I guess. It has phase 1, which is moving towards the edge, and I'm going to pause the video here. And as soon as it reaches the edge, you will also kind of see that it... Can I scroll this? No, apparently not. As soon as I try to scroll the position of the video... Well, I can go from here to here to here. I can't really pick up fine... adjust that point in whatever. Anyway, so yeah, so you can see these markers here, because this is the forward marker, this is the down forward marker. I'm not... You can't see my cursor, I realized. Here it is. So this is the forward marker, make sure there's not a block in the way. This is a down marker, make sure if there's a block here, because both are empty. It can therefore, well, there's more rules than that, which I've also implemented, but so it can, because it can't be a block on this side or the other side of the... These are what the blue markers are for. But anyway, so if everything is clear, it can roll over the edge. So as soon as these shifts position, it transitions into this second phase. So this is the first phase where it just moves straight forward, and then there they shift the position. Now it's in the second phase. That's when it's arcing, and you can't see transition to the third phase because, I mean, it has already shifted its position, and then you just move straight forward in the third phase, and that's the 3 phases. Now, I could have the camera only rotate as soon as it reaches the second phase. Or I can have the camera to so yeah, I got like 3 options here, or 4 options, I guess. All 4 options includes rotating camera during the middle phase, but the 4 options is, well, it's a binary of, should I include the first phase and or should I include the third phase? But just 2 or 1 and 2, or just or 2 and 3, or 1, 2 and 3. Having all 3 phases would give a very smooth transition. That would be nice. Having just the having just the second phase would have the camera kind of like, it would give the effect that the camera is stuck to the ball. As the ball is arcing, the camera will arc. The camera will therefore arc very fast during that short period that the ball is arcing. But it will be like stuck to the ball, will be the visual effect. Or I make it so that because if I make it so that it arcs throughout the whole thing, the camera will start tilting before the ball has started tilting. In the game I got this inspiration from, the camera is not arcing until it starts going over the edge, which would be the easiest to make, but that doesn't mean it's a good choice. If that makes sense. Because I assume that game, no, it has to do a pre-check, but anyway, So it would be plushy. Because the ball has to travel a total distance. I could figure out what the total distance is. Because if I do like... let's copy one of these, and then I type distance traveled, which I start at 0, and then go down here. So when it goes to the player state over the edge, change state over the edge here, it then sets distance traveled to 0. And then during the whole over the edge phase, distance traveled will be rotate measure, but let's see, rotation vector, transform rotate, new position minus old position. Okay, I guess it's the new position minus old position, but then I need like, but I need the like, how do I do like vector 3 distance? Okay, so it's between the new position and the old position. But the new position is just a transform position. So let's put it at the end here. So every time in a compiler play script to 29. Oh, I guess it needs to be in. That's not where I wanted to put it. There we go. How about now? How about now? Then I can get the actual total distance. I don't have to calculate it. I can make it calculate it for me. Well, I'm getting the actual distance it figures out. So distance traveled. So this is the total distance traveled. I wish I had a more accurate number. I mean, I guess I don't need a super accurate number, but... I guess that is as accurate as it needs to be. And each time it should result in the exact same number. Yeah. So that is the distance it will travel. About 1 3/4 of a block. Did you know that this is the actual mathematical correct value from this? It's supposed to draw a line for the ball as it travels, but I don't see it. I don't know why. But anyway, I got the number. That means that and then I can delete that. Well, let's see what... I mean, I guess I could have, like... Every time the ball moves, it adds to a number to calculate the total distance the ball has traveled, and then you, like, travel a total distance of 1,000 blocks, and then get an achievement or something, I don't know. And it does then accurately consider traveling over edges and stuff like that. Dirty deeds. Todd is here. Todd is early. Does that mean that you can collect some points? Does that mean you can collect some points? So you can actually achieve the second place? You're not too far from getting second place now. Yes. Let's see how many Todds will Todd lose. 4 points will you lose after this stream, going into next stream. Well, yellow pop pepper soda will lose 6 points, so it's not a huge difference in points. I have not slept. Oh no, Todd, you need to sleep better. You know that. Quote, okay, Todd, I will no longer acknowledge your nub. I will instead acknowledge your knob. I will instead acknowledge your knob instead. I said instead twice, because I speaks like that. Oh yeah, my knob. Not your nub, but your knob. Yeah, how about that? You got a chili as well. Mesh orb. It's never assigned to, I would always have its default value of null. No, that's not true. I have assigned a value to it. I've done so in... It is incorrect. Because I have given it a value for the prefab. So yeah, how about that? Biting? Hey, you acknowledged it. I haven't acknowledged your nub. I'm just saying it's part of the quote. I don't even know what your nub is, so I can't even acknowledge it even if I want to. Yay! It's TNT as well. Pineapple for Osprey. Oh look, Osprey's here. Did you do this again? No, I didn't. I will claim ignorance from my part. Here's the rotational index. Whee! I have 3 nubs actually. Well, if you don't want me to acknowledge your nubs, maybe you shouldn't speak about how many you have. Because it's supposed to draw a line. It does draw a ring here. Strange. There is no Osprey here. Nope, not at all. Not at all. Who said that? I don't know. It's just a weird message that showed up without no author to it. Strange, isn't it? Very strange indeed. So, if I do want the camera to move, I kind of need to figure out where the camera will be. So I should probably have like a camera offset value, because I should have a camera pitch, zoom, forward, height, and I should probably have a private vector camera offset with double T, I guess, which starts at the vector 30, because that means no offset. And then when I go to the camera position here, mainscape instance set player camera position, which calculates plus the 4 plus the up plus the camera offset. But then there, it needs a rotation offset as well, which is ooh. That's something I will figure out, don't worry. A really insane crazy person. A really insane person. Oh, I'm sorry. A really insane crazy person. What's no sparkly crazy? Oh, Todd is hot for a teacher. I thought I copied what you wrote there, but I guess I didn't copy it. No sparkly by crazy. No, it's not sparkly. No, Todd, why? No, sparkly is the artist band singing, and oh, why did you have to do these? Nals is pronounced Charles. Okay, we say so, Charles. I could see if I can find some of that. So the offset, I will have a camera rotation offsets, but yes. I should be able to do like this. If it is currently going forward towards the edge to go over it, pant is named. Is that why you came here? Because I didn't sleep through stream today. Yeah. You managed to take a screenshot and yeah, I got 349 coupons left to spend. He has 3 pants. Yeah, unfortunately you did. Now I need to go see what you name them. Wait, I have to order name something like that. I'm going to see if that's the case. Yeah, you did. The previous one was called Blueberry Sparkles, and this one is just called Blueberry. It's close. Tracy just have different random pieces. So okay, I should have camera offset and then should have a camera offset target, I think. Move target, yeah, move arc center. Camera offset target. So here I would set the camera offset target to the target will be angles to vector orientation. So it is it's going to have the new orientation, so I need to figure out the new orientation. So when it reaches these old orientation, change orientation, get new orientation, here we go. So it takes the new orientation, and here it should get a new camera offset. But let's see if this works, because we should be able to see the values here. Todd, you're 0% kit today. How did that happen? So it's different enough. It's the original Blippery panty Laura unlocked. Why are you making Laura about my panties? Or you compliment her panties? That's embarrassing. BNT. We're going to start this. 69. I'm not sure what happened. You must have had like 10 cuteness or something today. So here we have here camera offset target. So the camera offset target should change as soon as I press forward. Yes, it does. Good. Then that doesn't work. I should probably slow down the ball speed again. I do it for testing and like slow it down to 10x the speed, so it's easier to see what's going on. Oh no, going for my panties. I had not enough and died for a moment. They might have me 0% kid, or even 1% kid. I'm a mommy now. Do you like this? So this means now that during this phase the camera offset will become camera offset target based on the mathx and move towards my arc, which is let's see now. Camera offset, the target, camera offset target. The arc center is actually the vector 3, 0. And the distance it has to move, here is the tricky part. How fast should it move? cat coat, that's embarrassing. The magic outfits. But wait, how is mommy a magic outfit? A mermaid, I could see, yeah, I could see there's like mermaids, magical girl and mermaid transformation things. Bodysuit, not really sure how that is magic. Witch, yeah, witches tend to do like spells and magic like that. A magical girl is obviously magic. Why didn't you add the schoolgirl swimsuit to it? It is magical, there's like magical girl bikini outfits as well. Mamas have the magic of being undead. Okay, fair enough. I would say like a cat girl and would be magic too. I'm criticizing your choices here. Because... and fox girl as well. Because if you were to transform into a cat girl or fox girl, that's kind of magical. I still don't get the bodysuit though. Bodysuit has mecha girl anime magic. Okay, I see. Well, in that case, you can kind of make the argument about everything. So let's have it just move by 1 for now. It's going to move very fast. But this is just for a test. There's also vamps. Vamps. Amps, vamps. Lamps. You mean vampires? But I don't have a vampire outfit. Make an actual schoolgirl outfit and I'll put it before magical. Huh. Yeah. I should, because I made one for my Crash 4 mods, I should make one available. I should make that outfit available as an outfit for me. So if I transition now... whoop, camera disappeared. I think the camera is just moving way too fast. Does she have a vampire outfit? No. No. Bubble boy indeed. A bubble boy indeed, that is true. That's not how we spell bubble boy. It still ships immediately though. I don't get it. Is that because of my... wait. Yeah, because it gets a 0 rating thingy. I get the 2 points. I need to figure out what the 0 point is. Bubble boy. I'm sobering up. Okay. I guess I need a camera offset center as well with a space in the name, I guess. The space in the name thing was a joke. Which I put here. Yeah, because I need to kind of figure out what the center point of the 2 points are, and that's why it moves instantly. Okay, let's see. How do I do this? I should probably do like this. Int new or okay, let's type orientation. Why not giving me autocomplete there? New orientation. So let's put the new orientation there. And then we take vector 3 new location, or should I call it new position? And take vector 3 old position. And then the target is the new position minus the old position. But the center point I could vector 3 center position. I could make that the center of the blockhead that you're orbiting around, which will be the absolute down orientation. And then the center camera offset center position would therefore be, which way should I do this in? Take the new position minus the old position, I get the old position is 0, the new position is the offset from 0. Okay, I just think this. So I'm having these 3 positions randomly in space. And if I take the new position, if I take the new position minus old position, I'm therefore moving the old position to 0 and a new position relative to that. Therefore, I should take the center position minus the old position to get the old positions relative to 0. So there we go. Not confusing at all, right? Now it should be able to arc, because I do need the center of the arc. So if I start moving, yeah, it does work. But of course, it doesn't angle itself towards the ball. Actually, how does the camera rotate if I were to... Yes, it would work if I just have to re-angle the camera. It will work. I just need to figure out what the actual speed should be of the camera. I got cramped. I don't know what that means. Quote, I would talk about panty, but there's currently no redeem that would make me talk about my panties. I remember that, I did that. Yeah, Todd, I'm still waiting for you to get that redeem so I can talk about what my pants looks like. My pants are very cute today. And I would describe them for you, but, you know, there's no redeem for that. Quote, I mean, for reference, you know, total reference, yes, for the drawing I'm going to make. Yes, totally is. Well, I'm still building points. Okay, but that's not what you have to do. That's not like. Yeah, you want money. Exactly. I need money to live off. The money bunny. Oh yeah, yep. I'm the money bunny. So I need to... Hey, what's with... Why are you swiping my boobs? That doesn't give me money. I wouldn't even be able to hide a card reader there because my boobs are too small. I'm a fairy. I'm a furry too. I'm a furry. Everyone needs a paycheck. Exactly. You get it. I call it Arc Center. Maybe I should call this one Camera Set Arc Center. Ad code. I wouldn't. You would be able to hide a card reader there. My boobs are too small. I'm afraid. That's a quote. You killed PR. You got an eggplant. What a moment to show up. I messed up. Okay, yeah, it's okay. I will go through it anyway. We should. I'm drunk, you notice. Well, Todd, you're silly. So, after, so it creates these 3 points. It arcs upwards, and then after it's done with the initial phase, go to the medial phase. It could again calculate this, but this time it should do the same thing, but it is the, instead of subtracting old position, it should subtract a new position, I think. That one shouldn't be included. Okay. I will make this function. So public void camera. Oh, okay, set camera offset. So vectors 3 initial offset. As I'm playing, okay, I will get some water. Be right back. What are you doing when you're pon-ponning?
Pon hard. Wait.
Would you
Sorry,
like?
that made it.
Would you? Would you like to explain yourself?
It's like. No, not really, actually.
No, that's fine. That timing. Did you see? Yeah, it was this thing. Did you see that timing?
I can't smell anything.
Yeah, you got no nose. Well, let's go with hard. I'm hard. I mean,
I, like all the others,
oh, there's voice acting.
birth of the dragon of
But not into. Haha, nice job. You won. But this doesn't sound like victory music. That sounded like very dramatic though. Oh, you think you've won? Well, you have. Congratulations. I guess that could be part of the challenge to not get a game hour. Wow, I didn't know you ran. Where is? Ah, here's the traffic. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I forgot I was driving driving on the wrong side of the road. There. So that's how you do it. There we go. Boom. Bunny beats. You wanna? Oh, there's the animation again. I forgot to hide it. What are you talking? What kind of bunny beats are you talking about? You're not talking about my bunny beats, are you? I mean, you would. So initial offset, which I can like set the offset of it. Force it to have a certain offset. Wait, should I? Wait, I'm trying to think here. No, not yours. I have to pay for those. I mean, mine. You have bunny beats? And yeah, you have to pay my bunny beats for my bunny beats. I mean, yeah, I will lift up the front of my dress, showing off my panties and my bulge if you're paying me enough for it. I'm willing to do it. Set camera offset at from orientation shift. That's a so we'll have like set offset, and then we'll have first orientation, second orientation. Oh, which I need to. And I will take these, and then it's like. I also need a bool. Calculate from new, from second, I guess. So I don't have to count the new orientation because I only got second orientation here, and I got the first orientation here. So this one I can ignore. This calculates a new position, all position, and the center position, which is all I need. And then it needs to do if calculate from second. Because that should have the old minus new instead and center minus new, I think. And if I did this correctly, we can test this. So I do set camera offset from orientation shift. Beautiful name. So set offset, which we do vector 30. And then we need the first orientation, which is orientation, and the new orientation, which we can get from get new orientation. And it is false because we are doing from this, and this is the first one. And then I go over here, where I go from second to medial. And then I do this thing again. But this time we're not setting it to 0. Okay, I should probably not have this. Wait. True. And orientation, we have the old orientation and then the new orientation. Like that. I'll go back here where I did the, let's ignore that. So if that's false, then I will set camera offset to 0. Vector 30. But if this isn't, I need to take the current offset it has as over which I'm which now. Yes, that is true. And shift it so minus the new minus old or something like that, I think. Oh, it's only one way to figure out if it is working. By testing. Oh no, someone is getting bullied having her panties on a pole. He's very embarrassed about their panties. I forgot the shouldn't have that part of it. And then this one should just apply constantly throughout the hole, going over the edge, regardless of which face it is. There. Well, let's have it move even slower. And reach this point, I should probably just say that's camera offset to 0. Should probably just have a function like that, and I'm gonna scroll down here. I don't need a function like that, yes, but I'm making it just because it's nice. Because all I can do is just have it. Whatever. It's hardwood. Yes, it's hardwood. She's been bullied. Someone stole her panties and hanged them in a bowl. You wouldn't do that to Pon-Pon, wouldn't you? Quote, Triggerbox, you should know that if someone... You know that 2/3 of my art contains panties, which is funny. Hello, Hexil. Hello, Hexil. Totally didn't retry that. I don't understand not even half of this. I mean, that's... When it comes to coding... I would in a heartbeat. You would do that. I should make a drawing of that. Quote, the boys are wearing skimpy bikinis because that's all part of the challenge. I say weird stuff. But yeah, when it comes to programming, a lot of it is like your own personal code, so even all the programmers would probably struggle to read some of the stuff I've done, because I'm bad at adding comments, but I'll try to add comments and I should add more. So now the camera is clearly not moving as it should. Excuse me, thought. Want to see something cool? This isn't cool. This is bullying. That is what it is. Why can't I see it being selected here? You are not allowed to bully Pon Pon. Her blush fades in and I want to watch her face. A bit late to say that now, I guess. After it's over. You make me blush. It does draw a line for a bit. Yeah, it almost works. It also moves at correct speed too. Yellow, twitch, purple, pink. Interesting color choices. It's strange that it goes to that position when it's supposed to go to that position. Even if the calculation, it almost seems that is correct. Like it goes up there and a switch, it kind of starts around this area. But it goes the wrong way. Why is that? Oh, I think I know why. I have an idea why. So if I go to my here. No. It gets it goes to 2 point because it doesn't matter because the center position absolute down. All right, that is true. That's why it shifts. It shouldn't recalculate this. Okay, I should probably just have wait. Angle survey. This gives me relative positions. This gives me an absolute position. Am I sure I shouldn't have 0 as center as 0? I still need to subtract it, so maybe I should set this to 0. At least, yeah. Let's try that. Pink lemonade. Holy magical girl, Batman. Oh my. Oh no, Benny. Why did you type Benny body instead of like Benny markings, Benny white or something? You know, Wouldn't that make more sense? Don't you know who Benny is? Regular man. Todd is uneducated in the bunny space. It's kind of worse. Okay, I'm like, how does it go the wrong way? How does it go the wrong way? He's bunny. I actually know that's banana and yellow. Because I didn't know Benny had markings, so he has a white tummy. Fake Benny fan, I see. That's Benny. Banana taffy specifically, maybe. I thought he was solid yellow. Nice yellow body, yellow tummy, yellow underside of the feet. Wait, what am I saying? White tummy, white underside of the feet. There we go. Pink on the inside of the ears. Because that really is it. Yellow tummy, yeah, white tummy, yellow body, white tummy, white underside of the feet, and the rest of the body is yellow. But then, like, the inside of the ears are pink. I thought he was solid yellow. Well, haven't played enough with the Benny outfit in my mod either, I assume. There we go. That's correct. Cheerleader too. Yeah, there's a drawing of him in a cheerleader outfit. I can show that one while being the Benny cheerleader myself. How fitting. There it is. We're cheerleaders. There's Benny in a cheerleader outfit. Such an old drawing. Oh, that one. That is Benny. Yeah, I'm only following 2 bunny streamers. That's 1 bunny streamer too many. No, just kidding. March of the Diamond by Judas Priest. Isn't that a surprise? Benny the bunny avatar from Revelation. Who? Oh, that one. That one. I got another cheerleader drawing as well. That was not what I wanted to select. Here it is. Oops, I clicked the wrong thing. Here it is. Here it is. Here's another cheerleader drawing I made. Ooh. Ooh. Very, very nice. Anyway. So everyone having a good time zone? Well, I hope so. I'm trying to figure out why the camera is moving like this. Because it should figure out the position there from there, and it should just arc between the 2 positions. There is one position. So there to there, it should arc there to there. Or I guess arc like that. But it kind of does not go there if it's going to finish at this location here. I feel like it's arcing wrong. Sylvian, the best kind of Sylvian. How about a trans girl Sylvian? Hello, panties and bunnies. Well, you're in the right place. Alright. Try to change it incorrectly. Ooh. This is a weird drawing of mine. How about trans girl Sylvian? Trans Sylvian also good. Not tight enough hair bulge. No, she gets very embarrassed. Don't lurk, nappy. Have a good lurk. Oh no, she showed off the secret. She showed off that there's a bow on her panties. Anyway, because that was obviously what she was concerned about. Oh no, Pope! Oh no, I'm getting pummeled. Yeah. Imagine about bow on your panties. How embarrassing. There's also a plushie that can show up in the throw plushie redeem. That is true as well. You should read it. Let's see. I didn't. Oh, there's the Sylvian. Yeah. You can throw that Sylvia with the plushie throw redeem. There she was. And depending on how she lands on me, it might affect her dress in a negative way for her. Positive way for everyone looking. But I should change the size of the plushies. They might be larger so you can see the details better. Hamu. And maybe I should make it so the dress of the pink bunny is affected too. She's not wearing any panties though, but you know. What is this supposed to be? Okay, sleep now. Okay, told sleep. Bows are panties are nice. I assume it meant bows on pants are nice. You like to see the bows? Do you want to play with bows? Okay, so what if I instead do this? And here, instead of calculating these, I just take the I just shift them so that the target offset becomes a 0 point. Because if you take the camera offset target minus camera offset target, obviously becomes 0. It's almost like obviously. Ah. Sounds obvious to me. X minus X is 0. Oh, it almost works. Oh yeah, so you see how it almost works? It just shifts a bit in position. So also, if I make it move slightly slower, I mean, when the gameplay is running, it's going to be there a plush of that silver. I will make 20 here. My so swiping between boobs. I mean, if you want a plushie with a dress and panties, which and a bulge too. I mean, if you're willing to pay me enough money, I could make one for you. I don't know what I would charge for one, but with a custom one like that would probably be a bit pricey. How large would it be then? I guess that's your choice. One starts making plushies. That is very aggressive swiping when it bounce so much. Pompon's boobs bounce too, but very smoothly. Huh. I guess it shifts weirdly because it doesn't arc properly. I don't know. Because this is very close to correct speed for the ball speed, but it just doesn't arc properly. We talking the full thing or just the bulge? No, the full plush, of course. Like full plush from head to toes, arms, comes with a dress. I will buy a dress, and pairs of panties. I can buy a multi-pack of panties, so you can swap your panties out, and I include a bulge, and whatever size you want to plush to me. I'm making deals in chat and live streaming. But it would be kind of expensive though, considering how much work you have to put into it. So yeah, like this almost works. It still does that cut there, and I obviously don't like. So yeah, so this is my current issue. I could have it, which probably is easier, decouple the camera from the ball when it does the orientation shifts, and that might be the best method here actually. So I said like a ball, that is spool, camera, follow ball, and I set it to true by default. There we go. And then if we go down here to update camera thing and remove the camera offset for now, we're gonna do like camera follow ball, and then I do like that, and then like camera is locked to the position of the ball. That means that now, as soon as the transition starts, no wait, it never changes this value. See what I mean? Okay, and then I go down here to, and then it says camera follow ball is false. Then we'll start the transition process, and then I go here to where it says go over the edge, And then when it resets the camera back to 0, it also it's camera foldable true. I should probably change this, so I should say I should like, okay, let's fix this. Better names for these. I will can I mark a function the sharp mark function as deprecated. Obsolete your warning message. Okay, so you like what is trust throw an error instead of a warning. Now for now I'll just throw a warning. Obsolete, and I will here set camera what would I call it? Because I have set camera offset from orientation shift, and I have set camera offset to 0, and then like set camera offset. See, that's not what I'm trying to type. Disable. Okay, let's go with disable camera offset. Let's go with that, and then like use camera offset, and then it will be camera follow is kind of pretty do that. Okay, I'll just delete that then. And then this one will set camera follow true, and then I will have a function which is enable camera offset, which is then foldable false. But then I have to fix the rest of the code later. Okay, therefore I should have an error here, and I replace both with disable camera offset. So is that what we're talking about? If I had that money, I would sadly, I do not. Yeah, I don't remember how much I would charge for such thing, because I have had a thought about such plushies. But I do not remember what my ideas at the time was. But yeah, it would require research of how the plushie should be shaped, and actually getting the material and everything. So yes, it would be kind of pricey. So when the ball moves, the camera is disabled until it reaches its final destination. It's enabled again. So what I need now, because now the orientation shift here is completely ignored. So now I just need the camera arc from that position to the new position, and that's everything I have to care about. So let's fix that. And then instead of this code, I should just have camera update camera offset. So let's take this. Disable, enable, and then public void update camera offset. Where I just put this code for now. When enabling, I do int first rotation, int second rotation, and I should mean it enough. I'll do it like that. Delete that. And then they should be given error here. Okay, then I don't need the follow error here. Okay, and I go here, rotation, get new rotation false, so I don't need that anymore. And then here, I don't need this one at all. That doesn't matter anymore. Because it doesn't care about... It takes the orientation as inputs, but the orientation doesn't affect the camera. Okay, let's see how the camera acts like now. Because I think what actually messed up the camera position was because it was still following the ball and the ball was moving. So now camera's not moving because I still haven't set. So if the camera follows the ball, but if the camera does not follow the ball, which is camera is following its own path unrelated to the ball, because I will need some kind of like that. So in addition to the camera offset, camera follow ball, and I should have like a camera. I need a better term for this. I should probably call it camera free or something. And then I call it free offset. Rename all of them. Just rename it. Free offset arc center. Rename camera free offset target. Rename. There we go. Perfect. Naming consistency. So the free will determine the position of the camera. So when I enable the disable camera, okay, camera, oh, instead of disable camera, I will offset it. We call disable camera free. Rename enable camera free. Enable update camera free. Update. So yeah, so the camera free position is its default position. And old position will be the camera, well, will be this exact same position, so I can save some calculation, just copy the value over. In fact, I don't even need old position, I can just use the camera free position. Yeah, like that. So use camera free and camera free offset. I guess I'll sheet music for my old camera. Ooh. Ooh. So the camera position will become camera. Wait. I already got that camera position. Alright. Okay, let's change a few more things then. Because then I don't need the offset value. No, I need. No. No, I need this because you will be able to manipulate the camera in different ways too. But that shouldn't affect this. So the camera free plus camera free offset, but it doesn't need a camera free offset value. Because it can just manipulate the camera free directly. So the this one should be like this. Here. Let's see, it takes the position. Okay. So it takes that plus the player's position and new position, including the player's first. No, wait. The new position is going to be the player's future location. That's what's also gets. That's okay. So therefore, I need down vector 3 current orientation plus forward vector 3 current orientation, or I could do up vector 3 second orientation, first orientation. There we go. Oh, bloody. Because it's going to go down the block, it's going to go over a block, therefore if it goes down with current orientation, then goes up with the second orientation, it should arrive at the ball's position in new location. Therefore it gets the starting location, which should be the point where the camera is currently, and it should go to the final the new position, which could end up like, I could call it a camera target. Camera free target. Yeah, I don't need to call it offset. And then I need the center position for camera. So camera free arc center. The arc center of the camera, I guess is it just going to be the center of the block that the ball is rotating around? That seems reasonable. So I go down from the current orientation. And then I don't need those things. And then I renamed it again because I don't need the offset. And I don't need to call this offset. This is a free arc center. Do I have any? And free. Okay, maybe I rename this and let the errors occur so I can see where it complains. This one it shouldn't even use because it should use update camera free instead. But it should have a speed it takes in, so I need to find a way to specify the speed in a good way. There we go. And then here if you take a load speed, which it plugs in here. The speed it travels, it's depending on the length it can only move. And it does not need to set that to 0. And then the camera free, it just sets camera free towards camera free target. And then the camera free arc center. This might work. And then here the camera position is just camera free position. I have to fix so the camera looks correctly, looks at the target, the line where it's supposed to. Wait, oh no, it should still be like this. Yeah, this should be the same, right? Right, asking as if everyone knows. Kelby Horror is 125% kid. They 121. The test lies. I am not a kid. Why did you increase it by 25 then? You can't like, please make my cuteness value 25 points higher. And then like, okay, your cuteness value is this now. I'm like, no, it's too high. But you set it to that. Well, this is obviously not working. It goes back to 0. Huh. Well, it was... The camera is still affected by the orientation of the play. Ah, that's interesting. Oh, it does make sense. Because the camera's look target really should be in the position of the ball. Which I should have a function for. Let's have... what would I place that? We get new rotation, gets corrected rotation, absolute down, absolute forward. Okay, let's have private vector 3 mesh. What did I actually call it? I call it mesh orb, right? Yes, mesh orb. Okay, let's call it mesh orb position. Go. And this returns absolute down, orientation, and a distance of 2750. Here, 275. Because now, instead of looking at the position of the player, because in case we can see that in game. Because there's two targets, either I look at the player position or I look at the ball, the orb's position, the ball's position. So if we look at the player, here's the player position where the arrows mark, where the arrows meet. But if it goes over the edge, you will see it just shifts strongly. Oop. So the player's position shifts. But we've still instead marks the ball. Now these arrows would spin as the ball moves though, but the center position will stay fixed. It will stay fixed on the ball and it will not suddenly shift. So it's this position I want. So out of curiosity, can I... well, obviously I can. That's it. Get relation gets position offset. So mesh or position, I take that, but what I want to do is draw a crosshair on it. Crosshair. So the crosshair position is the mesh itself. What color should that be? Which stands out? Black. This kind of stands out, right? Oh, is that how it works? Thought it was random. Wait, what? Sorry, Kelpie, I'm confused with what you're trying to say here. When you do the cuteness command, exclamation point cute, you get a random value. That is random. It is a fixed value throughout the day because it takes your Twitch account ID number and the number for the day. Basically, if you take the date and just in numerical form and remove all the separators, and then you just put that together and it does a hash just to get like a randomized number, and from that it figures out what your cuteness value should be. So it will, so this number it uses to hash stays the same throughout the day until it's next day. So every day you will have a different cuteness value. Then you have this modify cuteness function, the the redeem, where you can simply add or subtract points to your cuteness, because that's something people have wanted to do. So now you can do that. That's how it works. I hope that explanation works. So you are correct that it's a random value, but if you add 25 to the number, you add 25 to the number. Okay, got it. My explanation is weird sometimes. Okay, this marker here should stay fixed on the ball constantly. Yeah, it does. So as long as the ball looks at that, so like, as long as the camera looks at that target, it should be all good. So measure position is working. It gives me the correct position. That's what the camera should look at. Yeah, right, 275, right? Yes. So this one I can just change it to this. Well, isn't really used, is it? There. Now instead of using the play position that suddenly shifts as it goes over the edge, it uses the ball position, which does not shift. That should make the camera a bit better. Quote, it's more sussy to look at some of them these, yeah. Look, it was just as my stream started too. Okay. The camera still shifts as it goes over the edge, which doesn't make any sense because it, well, shouldn't care about the orientation of the play. So, camera is following its own path, unrelated to the ball. Camera position is camera free. Camera look target, which is where it looks, which is the orb minus the position. Because this is relative. Camera's rotation is a camera look target. Based on orientation. But that is still the look. When you set player camera position +4 plus up. Oh. No. Okay, if I remove that, that will probably get the camera to suddenly shift as soon as it goes into free mode. I mean, it wasn't like it was suddenly shifting already. Yeah, now it goes to center. Okay, yeah, and it stays in center. Okay. I'm making progress here. Okay, should okay, let's see now. So instead of transform position, I should have mesh or position. And then I have forward, rotation, orientation. So orientations here should be changed to first orientation and second orientation. Like that. But why does it still ignore? Because I'm adding That is weird. For some reason it centers the thing. As if it doesn't get a value. Camera free target. Oh, I'm getting bombarded. Wait, why doesn't it select this one? This is the same thing. Yeah, this one. Oh. No, that's why, because I'm creating new variables here, and that's... I'm supposed to do that. There we go, that explains why everything is 0 constantly. Because I'm not overriding the existing variables, I'm just creating new variables and then throwing them away. Why does everyone keep looking at my patties? Look at this. It almost works perfectly. Yeah, it ends up in the wrong position, but it starts. It's pretty cool. It's actually working. It's not perfect because it's starting position and ending position are not correct, but it's close. So you can move, and it looks pretty cool, and then you can continue. But I just need to fix the ending and starting so that it gets this smooth. Yeah, this is... It jumps. That's pretty good. Hey, that's pretty good. I know why. Because I'm flying this. Coach, why has no one noticed my boobs? I have boobs. Stop noticing my boobs like that. Okay, I know what it is. I determine where the camera should look from its perspective, but then I apply these. So I guess if I were to not apply these, let's do that for... It might start and end correctly. Well, well, I can't just do it like that. I also have to do it here. There. How the camera is looking now is going to be a bit off. Yeah, now it looks weird, but it does correctly. It has the correct starting position now, and now it just moves a bit too slow. So if I make it faster, speed. Doesn't have to be much faster. I will have to figure out as it still doesn't move fast enough. Just put it at 8 then. But as a place, I'm going to get some water. Stepping on Joe's balls. Hope he doesn't. Well, looks like it's disconnected there for a moment. Anyway. I will do the posture check and hydrate as I did. Everything's back. Coat, I'm stepping on Joe's balls. I hope he doesn't mind. Okay, so I wonder if this is fast enough, right? To get camera position correct at the start and the end. The only problem is that we go. So it starts there, and now when it starts moving forward, you can see that it moves. But it moves too far. How does it move too far? That's weird. Makes no sense. Because it should fetch the final position. It doesn't matter how fast it moves. It's just if it moves faster, it just reaches the final position too early and it will stop there. It doesn't make sense that it will continue moving. Because it cannot move past its target location. That is weird. It starts in the correct position, but it doesn't end at the correct position. Okay, we'll let it be there so it can update its fast. Huh. Because it is using the second orientation to determine its location. It should use... Wait. Yeah. So this is this. So the starting position is this is starting position. I'm going to go through this by speaking because it makes me help me find what's there. And the starting position is correct. So it runs this function as it does, takes the rotation of the ball, the pitch and zoom of the camera, and the first orientation, which at the start is straight down. Hello, Never. Hi, Pon Pon. Hello. So you got an orange. A 265 watch streak. You've been watching Pon Pon dedicatedly. I appreciate that. And then it adds to that the position of the ball, which we know is, as I've tested, is an absolute position of the ball, regardless of what player is, because it does takes that everything of that into account. Squish, squish, squish. I'm having it is 38 degrees shade here. Well, it's like 27, 28 degrees here outside. So yeah, it's kind of warm. Unfortunately, it gets warm in this room. It's colder in other rooms, but it's warm in this room that I'm in. And then it should count the calculated target location, which of course the formula should be the exact same thing because the rotation is the same. Well, actually, in this case the rotation is the same, but the rotation is always the same. So I actually need to actually recalculate the rotation. Get corrected rotation. Although it takes new rotation. Okay. So let's do a float new second rotation. Get correct. So that is rotation, first rotation, second rotation. Because now when I go forward, the rotation will be the same, but it will be cases where the second rotation will be different from the first rotation, so it does need to take that into consideration. And then the pitch and the zoom, that doesn't change anything. Which are predetermined values. And the second orientation. That's cool weather here. That's heat wave here, yeah. Usually don't get so warm here. Oh, it's a mesh or position, that's the issue. Because it needs to take an in orientation, that is why. So yeah, that's the error I have done. I found the error. There should be orientation. So basically I had to add orientation to all these. Because where the mesh is depends on the orientation. So here it should say first orientation, because yeah, the mesh, that's the issue. It looks at the ball in the wrong orientation. So I had to plug in the orientation, which I'm doing now. And that should fix the issue. Teal, blue, and pink. This is an interesting combination. So the current position starts in the correct location and it should end in the correct location. Yep, it does. Boom. Yes, look at that. Look at that. Obviously I need to make sure that it ends at the location when the ball stops. But yeah, it's so smooth. Now the only issue is I want to apply the camera offsets here. Yeah, this is an interesting song. Anyway, should be back now. So, and hopefully it's more stable now. We'll see. So anyway, so as I was saying, now I can actually show it. As soon as it reaches this point, when the ball is on the edge, that's when the orientation changes. And same thing here. That's why the camera jumps, because the camera relies on orientation here, and that is what messes it up. Well, in fact, it does use the orientation. Measure position orientation, that makes sense. Camera look orientation seems to be fine. At least when going between those two locations. What happens if I go between two other locations? Oh no, it seems to be fine. It is just the orientation shifting that happens. But otherwise the camera is correct. Specifically when the orientation shifts as it goes over the edge, where the camera jumps, because the camera is using orientation here. This is where it cannot use orientation. What it instead needs is a forward and up vector that is smoothly transitions between 2 points. Oh, this is interesting color choice. Anyway, it should not buffering anymore, which is nice. So, so what I can do is set camera free target, free distance. No, how am I taking? How am I thinking this? Because I did calculate the value before. Move speed, and then I have like private const float camera free over, or like camera over I saw that I deleted that over edge speed, which is total length that it has to travel as this. It would travel that at the move speed. Wait. I should give you a small number. Wait. Now what value do I get? That's a time. Distance divided by speed. I need the speed. And the speed I need is close to this number. It should be close to like 0.85, let's say it like that. So if I do take this number divided by this number, I get that number. And if I take that divided by that, I get a completely different number. Huh. How do I get this number and this number, which is that number? Can't see my pointing. How do I get this number, which is actually this number, to be this number? Come on from alpha, answer this. Wait. The speed the camera has to move at depends on the distance the camera has to move, of course, which is an unknown value. The distance the ball travels is a known value. Okay. So I have an unknown value. I could figure it out by doing the same thing I did before, which is private floats camera distance traveled. Start at 0. And then every time the camera moves, enable free. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Enable free, it will set to 0. It will set it to 0. And when it updates, I'll take vector 3 old position, which is camera 3, and then I will distance traveled, add to it the vector 3 distance of the current camera 3 position minus the old position. Oh wait, it should have not minus comma there. Okay, so I can do this to test what the distance for the camera to move is. Translate. This must be a better way of doing this. I guess I could change the arc function. So I have arc function that where you specify the distance traveled in, well, units of distanceness in meters. But I could have a different function that's where you specify how many percent you want to move. However, then it needs to know the starting location of the arc. It cannot just use the current location. You can do that if you're traveling at specific speed. I wonder if we can calculate the exact distance. Anyway, I can calculate the distance by just letting it actually roll. But that works too. So here I should have the camera distance traveled, and then if I start moving the camera, and now it starts moving. Yeah, and now it stopped, and I get this number. So back to the code. Should I like save these numbers or something? I like ball distance over edge is this, and then I should probably call it orb actually. Orb cam era distance going edge, which is larger number, and then I take the orb distance based on the movement speed. Wait, how do I do this? I got a bunch of numbers. If I take the camera distance divided by orb distance, okay. Camera distance divided by the orb distance, and then multiply that with the movement speed. So if I do a quick calculation of 3994933 divided by 1719, that gives me a number, and then multiply it by movement speed. Yeah, surprisingly small number, so that doesn't seem to be correct. That's interesting. And when I compile this, all these numbers will be pre-calculated, so this will not take any performance. So anyone is curious? That's the benefit of constants. It's under... Go over the edge. It's weird that it's such a small number. The saxophone song. You should learn to play this one. I should somehow get the sheet music for this. So yeah, it's not moving fast enough. What kind of miscalculation did I do? This is the distance take for it. This is distance travel go over the edge. This is the distance and camera moves. This is the speed the ball moves. So if I take the orbit distance and divide it by movement speed, this is a number that represents how many updates it has to make. And then if I take the camera speed and divide it by this, that should give me a number. Then it gives it the length of a distance it needs to travel. Shouldn't this kind of be the same? So if I take the C for camera divided by O divided by S, is that the same as which I wrote before, which was the camera C divided by O multiplied by S? Yeah, it says well, it did say yes before. Maybe I should call camera X the orb Y and the... It doesn't tell me anything, but as far as I know, it should be basically the same thing. Yeah, that's the song Sister Marian. Isn't it funny that they took the song Sister Marian as a reference to make the song for Mario Bros? It's almost like they had got so we got a brother Mario as the equivalent song. But it shifts due to the orientation changes, has nothing to do with the distance it travels. Because that is applied after it does its moving. But why? That is the same number, right? It wasn't like... No, that's a smaller number. Huh? The numbers are random. Oh, it's because it doesn't manage to move the full distance because of this slow camera speed. And that's why the number is smaller. The song Looks That Kill about Meshley Q was inspired by the Palace theme and all that too. I wonder if is there any lists? I think there are sources that says T-Square Sister Marian is the actual source. But sometimes syncs might just accidentally sound similar. What? Oh, that was weird. But it gives me that number. I guess I just have the ball move even slower and nail paints. Noted quote, that's what Kafka says to Wata while they're out grilling sausages. I wonder what. What's adding to this number? The ball is moving very carefully. As soon as it reaches that bonk, now it shifts position. But that doesn't actually affect the camera number. I didn't check if it did, but it shouldn't. The camera should reach its final destination before the ball reaches its final destination, and there we go, bonk, it stops. And this is the number I get. So it's slightly different because I guess with a slower speed it's more accurate, but like barely a difference. Kind of like too slow, but I don't get why. I want to make sausages now. I need more sausage casing though. It would be fun to try to make sausages just to like try test what that experience is like. Which was just slow. This is so confusing to me. Because if I measure the length the ball travels and measure the length the camera travels, and I divide the camera length by the warp length, like that should give me the ratio difference between them, and then I just take the speed the ball is or orb is moving at and multiply it by this ratio. That means that the camera will move faster at that specific ratio, and that should make the camera reach the end about the same time as the ball is. Sure, there's floating point error, but it shouldn't have such a huge difference. Like if I increase the speed, it's not like we're going to do like... Because the higher speed, the less time it takes, the less the floating point error will affect it, but like... So the camera will jump once when it goes over the edge, but the second jump shouldn't exist. The second jump exists. So if you were to play this, is very, very janky. This one's kind of smooth, but it's still very janky. So, unacceptable jank. Or then I can just try to figure out which number it should be. Did I put one? No, I didn't. that, for example, is the camera is slightly too fast. So if I remove the const and make it as serialized field, I can like try to find the correct value by changing it while the game is running. So we go here, we have the camera over the edge speed, which is too fast. And if I lower it to this, that's presumably too slow. Oh, that's still too fast. Interesting. Okay, but I want to recall 75 being too slow. That's pretty good. Camera stops kind of like slightly before the ball does. It's still like ever so slightly too fast. And 74 is probably going to be... 74 is too slow. Because then it jumped there at the end. Kind of like... get very close to the camera. Obviously I can't see how it goes now, but I'm gonna move it back and see if it jumps. 75 is pretty good. 75 is almost like perfect. So you go back to the code, it should be like, it's just, yeah, 75 is constant. So if I again use, that's not what I wanted to do. So if I then take what I wrote here, copy it, paste it in Wolfram Alpha, take the distance over edge value, the camera distance over edge is the second value, the speed, and then I multiply the whole thing by x, and then that equals, and it should be 0.00505. Which is a number that is very strange. So if I then take this whole thing and multiply it by this strange number, it now should give the correct speed, but I'm not sure why I need to apply this modifier. Like, it's not even a normal number. If it was like 2, it would make sense. That's pretty good. I mean, aside from the weird multiplier I had to do, pretty good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now, the only thing I have to figure out now is the forward and up that will transition from one to the other. Based on a percentage It should work because all I have to go here, because it's a lerp. This would just be a lerp between all the new orientations. So I would have to say more values, but yeah, so camera free needs a bunch of values. 2 ints, or maybe I'll start with floats. 2 floats and 2 ints, and it's camera free. First rotation, or should I call it camera free rotation 1 and rotation 2, and then we have orientation 1, orientation 2, and rotate, and it will be zeroed out as the initial values, and then I just have to define these values when the free camera is enabled here. And I don't need the camera distance traveled anymore. Well, I kind of need it, but I really need to figure out a better way of doing that. I'll probably come up with an idea. So we store the rotation as the camera free rotation 1, and then we calculate the second rotation here, but then let's just calculate it directly here. So for any rotation, we'll just take camera free rotation 1 and camera free rotation 2. And then we store first rotation here and second rotation here, but because they are plugged in here, we need to reuse those. With these, I basically just need a float that is camera free percentage, which is basically how far has it traveled. And that it can update the current percentage is basically because it knows how far it needs to travel. Okay, let's keep the old variable. So it adds to the percentage based on the camera distance over edge. But the annoying thing here is that I'm only counting it over edge. I'm going to go up a wall as well, which is a different thing. I haven't calculated that one yet. So all these will break as soon as I go the other way. Unfortunately. I probably have a camera free distance. But I need to determine which way this one is going as well. Could do like a bool over the edge, or like this over the edge, and then do the camera free distance. we should then add here as well. And we got percentage. It's really not the best way of doing it. I just can't think of a better way of doing it. I'll keep doing that. It's probably something I will have to think over. Okay, we'll create a second. Why not the orb of edge? I want to have a camera distance. Climb. Oh, what we'll call it. We'll keep it the same value for now. So here, camera free distance. I do check is over the edge. Is over the edge. Then use camera distance over edge. Otherwise, use camera distance climb. In this, if someone doesn't know this kind of programming, this kind of looks funny, and you can like, can even put it like standard. You put up, but it's still funny to write it like, "Is over the edge?" Question mark. Got a loaf of bread to eat. Speaking of bread, I still want to make hardtack. Not fully familiar with that. You should try Swedish hard bread. So if I then take the vector 3 distance from camera free and old position divided by the total distance, that should give it a percentage. Should we check it if that works? It has a compiler error. 361 361 enable camera free orientation, any orientation is over edge. True, it is. There you go. Hopefully that was there we go. Error is gone. So we should have a variable for the camera, which will be seen in this list here. Oh, so many variables. We have distance, but that's not what we're doing. Camera free percentage. The percentage here is what we want to see. It should increase up to 1 as the wall travels, and it does increase. And boom. It is very close to 1, and you will probably not notice the difference. In fact, what if I take this to my advantage, now that I have percentage? Although there are rounding errors. So I will not do it because of rounding errors. So that means that now I have a camera free percentage that determines the percentage from the first to second place. So when it comes to the camera, which is here, because it adds these two to it, I can therefore lerp so I do vector 3 lerp add, I don't know what to call it, all that comments in these, which I set to this instead, and I'll do there should be a vector 3 lerp. And as we can see here, we got lerp and lerp unclamped, and then we got inverse, and we don't even clamp mounted. I guess we don't even have an inverse lerp. Well, that's boring. Well, that's boring. So we take one of these and a second one of these, and then it will lerp. Okay, we need, and then we need the percentage, which is camera free percentage. Now it transitions from this one to this one, but of course this one needs to now be defined. They both need to be defined. So I need to do camera free rotation 1 and this one for the rotation 2. And then I need camera free orientation 1 and 2, which also really needs to be here. There we go. Now it doesn't care about the current orientation of the ball, because now it just smoothly lerp from one to the other value. And this should give a perfectly smooth transition for the camera when it goes over the edge. And I also made it code so it works both ways now, go up a wall and going down a wall. So let's have a look. Let's see if it actually works. We got the side view here and we got the camera view. Okay, here we go. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's not perfect, it just jumped. Oh, so close. Oh, that's weird. Why does it jump there? I need to, I think I forget to set a value. Wait, it worked first time. Okay. It looks like I'm forgetting to set a value sometimes. Okay, let me. Oh, it was perfect the first time I rolled. There's some value that is being incorrectly set somewhere. So close. Oh, you see the percentage here? It never resets the percentage. That's a problem. The percentage is reset. It just keeps adding to the percentage. So the percentage needs to reset here. So camera free distance percentage, because here's where we enable the free camera, and therefore the percentage is set to 0. So that should fix the issue. So hello, Mr. Jesus, who is back again. Got to ask, why are all the programmers trans or fanboys? That is actually a fair question. I don't know. I guess I don't know. It's a fair question. Camera's stopping a bit too early. It's smooth now. It is so nice and smooth. We like that, right? Oh wow, I gotta hydrate. I'll hydrate then. Yeah, look at the smoothness. The camera stops a bit too early. Still stops too early. That means that it travels too fast. Let's do 1.3 as it says. That's how it's written. Oh, a nice color. But yeah, I'm seeing the programmer interest of. There's like as I said, there's like three groups of people who are very interested in programming. What you find like. It's like trans girls. I don't think like trans women, but not trans men. I'm not sure if that's like the meme. So it's just if that's the right way to call it, but maybe that's true. But trans women, femboys, that's what I would say, trans girls and femboys, and oh, I lost, and furries. There we go, that's the last group. Stop slightly too fast. Cameras move slightly too quickly. I mean, I could again allow myself to change that value live. The people I meet that are programmers are either a lesbian or a trans girl. Well, I am. I would say pansexual. Okay, let's make this value. I mean, at this point, I just ignore these and I just set a fixed value. Maybe it's gonna be like this. But instead of if it's just been constant for now, I'll make a serialized field, which allows me to modify the value, so I can tweak it as needed. But yeah, so I would say call myself pansexual, so I could be a lesbian. I'm not in a lesbian relationship though. Yeah, it moves slightly too fast, too slow, too fast. Camera moves too fast. So if I remove the 5 here, then it moves too slow, because then the camera jumps there at the end. This is good, because we shouldn't see the camera jump at the end, and we shouldn't see the ball continuously moving. Yeah, this is smooth. Obviously, that's not the speed the ball should go at, so I should multiply both by 10. It's almost like it should be 3 times as large, almost, but the value isn't 3 times as large, so I'm not really sure what's going on there. Wonder if there's something in my arc code that is wrong. I mean, toggling an arc through 3D space using vector 3 is not really the easiest. Have you seen those videos on Instagram? Well, I haven't seen any videos on Instagram in the first place, so I would probably say no. Of people asking what's wrong with their model on Blender. And I assume capitalization of a letter would be substitute for an A. And they have 1,000 polygons model. No, but I've heard a bit about 3D model. I don't remember which term they use, but there are some who like release 3D models, because there was this whole meme about Yandere Simulator having like a toothbrush that is so highly detailed, presumably because it was not made to be used in games, or maybe it was made to be used more like a normal map. Why is Blender not responding for me now? Speaking of Blender issues, Blender did not want to start all of a sudden. Okay, I guess Blender isn't starting. Well, it was working before, it does not work now. I guess this version of Blender does also not work. Okay, Blender decided to not work anymore. Oh well. Can I see what was there? Or can I like see? I can't see like. Oh, here we go. Vertices 1734. 3072 triangles. There we go. Okay, I don't know if you have ads though, because unfortunately I just had to play when we had the conversation. Unfortunate consistency where people manage to show up right before the ads are playing. Posture check and hydrate. I do have to end stream though. As I said, I need to. So it's been 3 hours now. So yeah, so this model is 3072 triangles. And it's just the ball itself. Anyway. Why is the kit? Yeah, the camera. Okay, this ball is now moving that intended. Oh wait. Is it because... Yes, that's why. So I need to... How do I do that? Can I like right click on a field? Okay, I can't reset that field. Can't I like... Okay, because I can just... Static script. I can reset it. The problem is that it clears the mesh. So what I would like to is a way to reset an individual value. So anyway, yes. If Mr. Jesus is here again, my mesh here has 3072 triangles, and that's for the ball itself, so it looks smooth. So I think I think when you meant to write last like 10,000 or 100,000 polygons, yeah, and when I have like super highly detailed models, there's a term they use for that. Let's see, quote, would you like to add an insurance to your purchase? Well, I'm unsure about that. Why did I think this would be a quote from Boom Street? Well, yeah, why is this a quote? I think I just randomly talked about insurance and insurance security. There we go. Wee. Does this look good? This is so smooth. Just way too smooth. You can't even see because I didn't close this window. There we go. Technically minimized, but whatever. Wee. This is the gameplay. It runs so smoothly. And you can also spin in place. Wee. Wee. Yep. And then you can do the WASD or the arrow keys. You can even use the number pad, regardless if the number pad is enabled or not, because it doesn't care. Look at that. You can also use a controller. Ooh. You can use the D-pad, which is preferred, or you can use a stick. But that is not as preferred. You can also reverse. You can use the right stick too. So if you want to use the left stick move for a right stick to turn, you can do that. But of course you can still use the left stick to turn. So you could accidentally turn. So therefore you can go into the settings of the game and remove left right turning on the left stick and up down movement of the right stick, if that's really how you want to play the game. But considering the grid based moving, therefore moving with the stick is not preferred. But yeah, plus this is because this is the up on the Z axis, this is up on the Y axis. So this is up on the x-axis. And of course on the other side, how much does the ball rotate? Not much. It does rotate a bit. Here's the minus side, which is the opposite of the plus side, obviously. Because you have the plus here. If I do loop around once, now the plus is up here. So every time it shifts. And that is obviously because the distance around the whole ball is not the same as the distance around the whole cube. What a surprise! Therefore, the ball will be a slightly different position every time it moves. I can manually go in here and reset its rotation. But as long as you don't rotate in one direction, like as long as you keep rotating here, when you land here, it will be shifted. Like it's not nice, but it's still rotated correctly according to this. But yeah, that is almost. It is slightly tilted. So if you start moving this way, it starts wobbling, and now it's even more tilted. And every time you do this, it's going to get worse and worse. And then you do this, now it's even worse. But anyway, that's enough stream for now. So this is this week. So next week I'm going to see if I can do the race. I'm excited about that. We'll see how that works. I'll have things to do on Monday. And then later on I'm going to have it's both Wednesday, Thursday, I think we decided on. I'm going to be busy, but that's not next week. That's like the week after that. Yeah. Okay. I didn't mean to press that one. What did it say? Okay, it's not next week. It's not the week after that. It's another week. The week after that, which is actually Tuesday, Wednesday actually. So I could probably stream on Monday just to compensate for that. That's no problem. Because that will be off Tuesday, Wednesday. So I have things to do, so I will end the stream. So I'm sure that I have ended it early enough, so I'm ready for the stuff I need to do. So we should raid someone. Who to raid? That's going to be a collab, so maybe I should raid there. What's going on here? I've raided this person on break. Well, that's not good. Well, that's good. Okay, what are other options? Well, I guess we could go to Susilin playing Amnesia Memories. Know what that is? Susilin. We could go there. A very Finnish streamer who needs a bit more attention, I think. Oh, we could create that then. Thank you everyone for being here. Oh, there we go. Now I got to read a message for myself. I will take the trans flag. Speaks English, is a Finnish streamer, plays games, does art. Stuff like that. Yeah, good. Playing some story game at the moment. Rabbit Stampede. So I did still stream for 3 hours. I streamed like an hour earlier than mine. normally do. I hope that was not a problem for anyone. You still managed to get 20 points, or you mean? That is nice. I don't feel like Todd gathered that much points, nor did Yellow Pepper Soda. So there's still a very big fight between them of who's getting. Oh, technically, it's just Todd wants to be second, and Yellow Pepper Soda is just surprised of still being second. So there's not a fight in any way like that. And I can talk about how I made my beautiful game. Yep, 7 points, still third. It's time to go